Feral Zubat here. Y'all know the drill. I'm not so good at digital art, so this will be my best attempt at speed painting Kikurage. We love bad art. Ooh! Also, there will be spoilers for Dorohedoro, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you should probably leave the video. Now, the question at hand. Could Kikurage technically become a devil? What do y'all think? Comment down below your theories before we get into this and get into what it takes to become a devil and the wonderful mystery of Kikurage. Let's dig into this chaos. Woo! Part 1, Kikurage. Now, to start off, I want to discuss all the things surrounding Kikurage. I want to make sure we have the knowledge about her so we can make an informed decision later on when we go over the devil stuff. Kikurage is a small chimeric animal. She has hooves, pink fluffy ears, a devil's tail, and horns. She also has a long tongue that tends to hang out of her mouth. And lastly, In had a devil specially make her a red mask. Alright, so do you guys know what Kikurage's name is based off of? It is based off of the Judas ear mushroom. Do you know why that mushroom is called the Judas ear mushroom? Well, I'm going to tell you guys. It is said that Judas hung himself from an elder tree after he had betrayed Jesus, right? The elder tree is the Judas ear's favorite host plant. The fungus also resembles an ear. Keep this in mind. Some even say that the mushroom is the embodiment of the spirit of Judas. I could not, within the information I saw, find anything about why Kikurage was named this, but I have a theory. If we look at Dorohedoro as a whole, there are religious themes and even some folklore, which we'll cover that topic a different day, not in this video. But I believe there's a possibility that Kikurage may have received her name from the lore surrounding Judas ear mushroom. Seeing as Kikurage has resurrection magic, her name could align with the fact that the Judas ear mushroom is believed to be the resurrected spirit or spiritual embodiment of Judas. Which I think that resurrection part's really important because not only does she have resurrection magic, the mushroom's believed to be like an embodiment of a spirit, which could be similar to resurrection. However, one issue I have with this theory is Kikurage is not shown to betray anyone, such as Judas would. Kikurage does things on her only by her own volition. If you try to force Kikurage to do anything, she's going to refuse. Usually, you can kind of coax her sometimes, but typically she's going to refuse. As shown in the show as well as the manga, if yelled at to do something not of her choosing, she may get scared and deploy razor blades from her collar as she did with Vegeta, which her collar has like flat razor blades that when she gets scared they deploy and put it on her for self-defense, and I believe it also alerts him whenever it gets deployed, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. Now, Kikurage is actually shown to be quite loyal to the In family. She may seem indifferent at times and self-centered, but to In she is quite loving and loyal. To Ebisu, she gravitates towards her partially because Ebisu feeds her, which I must also note, she only revived Ebisu out of a selfish want for food. In that scene and in the manga, it was time for her food, and she kind of looked at Ebisu and realized Ebisu wasn't budging, so then she revived her. But this could also be because she didn't realize Ebisu needed reviving till it was time for food. Someone she was loyal to that was quite unexpected was Chota. Before In passed away, he sent Kikurage with Chota out a window pretty much. And fast forward, Chota got stuck in a tree and was injured, and Kikurage refused to leave him, which I thought was really interesting because I didn't really expect that from her, seeing as her personality is kind of self-centered and self-serving. Um, but although we often view Kikurage as self-centered, I believe she has a level of care for those she deems worthy of her affection and magic. I would also consider Kikurage a sorcerer, seeing as she wields the resurrection magic, of course. She is also within the Inn family, thus giving her quite a bit of power for being a small little animal. Um, she is shown to have cognitive thought, which I found this really interesting, because in this part she's shown to like actually think words when she's terrorizing a bug, and she keeps accidentally killing it and then wanting to keep playing with it, of course, so she brings it back to life. But we don't know how far her intelligence actually goes. It doesn't really bring that up in the show, so that's interesting. Um, it is said she only resurrects people on whims because she selfishly hates the smell of rotting flesh. But honestly, who doesn't? I mean, I've never smelt rotting flesh, but I don't think I would like it, and I doubt you would either. But Kikurage can resurrect any sorcerer so long as their devil tumor is intact. She cannot heal them from the state they were in when they died. So, for example, with Ebisu, she had like her head split. Kikurage could bring her back to life, but she couldn't heal her, right? Noe had to heal her with healing magic. So Kikurage can bring people back to life and bugs and other things, but she can't heal them from the state they were in, which I find really interesting. Um, she can only bring them back to life. She can also seemingly bring back non-sorcerers, as shown with the bugs. However, it's still unclear how exactly her power works, and it's still unclear if she can bring back humans or not. I think she can, but it doesn't really go over that. Now that we have thoroughly discussed that, Kikurage, let's go ahead and move on to part 2. What it takes to be a devil. Devils must endure extreme training to take the devil exam. First, you have to have really good magic, like you need extraordinary magical ability for a devil to even invite you to the training, which I think I read that they'll invite 10 sorcerers per a devil per the training because they expect so many to pass away during the training because it's that hard. Um, and the devil that invites you will kind of be your mentor in that training. But you must be one of the select few invited, and you have to do this intense training for years. So what does that training entail exactly? Firstly, devil trainees must at all times wear insanely heavy armor. This is to train the strength and endurance needed after metamorphosis into a devil. So you need a lot of strength for that change. And then after that, there's the bat keeping. Trainees must take care of giant bats, such as carrying them up and down the devil churches, feeding them fruit from the trees at the top, as well as cleaning them with a giant brush as they sleep. It is said that the bats may act in violent outbursts that may even threaten the trainees' lives, which this is often where the trainees die with the bats. This next part is not a requirement, but the trainee may eat devil meat. This is the meat of a devil that has passed on, or as shown in the show, and I'm assuming in the manga, it's been forever since I've read the manga, but a devil can be de-transformed from a devil like Asu was, or Kawajiri is his name after he's not a devil anymore. But with the store knife, I think, and the the bird guy, I forget his name, he can basically cut all the devil meat off of you, and then you're not a devil anymore, but you're still alive. But anyways, doing so, eating that devil meat will enhance the speed of which you change into a devil. Lastly, the smoke abstinence. A trainee mustn't use their smoke for a full year. They do not have to wear the armor at this point in the phase, but they will begin metamorphosis by growing horns and a tail. Once that year is complete, they will fully transform into a new form designed by Cheetorama. Devils change their name once becoming a devil. And let's move on to part 3. Could Kikurage become a devil? First requirement. She does possess extraordinary magical talent. Not to mention her magic is extremely unique. Now, getting invited by a devil is another story. It is true that she is part of the N family, which would give her some sway with the devils due to N's family having connections, being like a major crime family and being the major power. It's basically there's the devils and then there's N and then there's other sorcerers. So like N's pretty up there and he knows a lot of devils. So I think she having those connections could get invited. She's also not as helpless as Fujita when it comes to magic, because Fujita is part of the family, but he lacks good magic, I guess. So he definitely wouldn't be invited by a devil, but I think Kikurage would. And I believe if we look past her being an animal for right now and look at not only her connections, but also her magical capabilities, not to mention her smoke being completely different. In a world of black smoke, she has white smoke. I believe a devil would definitely take her under their wing. Next up, the armor. Hear me out. Mini armor that is custom built just for her. Of course, it'd still have to be heavy to build strength and endurance. But we must ask ourselves, can Kikurage get jacked? That's a very important question. Does she possess the ability to become a muscle mommy? Maybe she does. Let's say, yes, she can build insane muscles. However, there's something we are not taking into account. Her personality. Who says she cares about the devils? Why would she respect them? She has no reason to respect them. Kikurage is shown to be self-centered and also only cares for a select few people. So if a devil is not one of those people, why would she listen to them? Which then means she can't proceed with the training. Kikurage already does not do well when coaxed. I imagine a devil may get tired of her attitude to then yell at her, which as we know would scare her, deploying the razor blades from her collar. And then, oh no, now the devil's pissed, so what's going to happen? It's going to lead to punishment. But let's just say, for argument's sake, the devil's a friend and Kikurage chooses to wear the armor. What's next? Bat keeping. Outright, I'm going to be honest with you, Kikurage does not have the patience to care for the bats. Also, she is tiny, and even if she gets jacked, I don't foresee any way she can carry the giant bats up and down the church. Lastly, she has hooves. She has no hands. I don't know how we expect her to hold a brush to clean the bats. So the bat keeping, probably not very good. She probably wouldn't be able to do that very well. But let's say some way, somehow, she progresses to the next stage. The devil meat. She loves food, for one. It's a delicacy, for two. And I believe she will feast on some devil meat, which would then progress her transformation a lot faster. Next up, smoke abstinence. This could go either way. Somehow the devil would have to make sure she understands she can't use magic for a full year. I could see Kikurage minding her business, playing with a bug, and reviving it without a thought, like it's second nature. But if she truly understood that she couldn't use magic, would she abstain? We must go back to her nature. She is self-centered and sadistic. She does things on whims. Most of her actions are self-serving, so I can't really see her not using magic on a whim. Okay. You guys made it to the end. What's the verdict? Drum roll, please. I will say Kikurage is already a devil, obviously, and here's my explanation why. Looks-wise, she fits the appearance. She has horns, she has hooves, she has a devil tail, and a devil tongue. She is selfish and self-centered and does things based on her whims and wants, just like devils. She's sadistic, kind of like a devil, toying with life as if it means nothing, as seen with killing and reviving bugs, tormenting those beneath her. And she has extraordinary, unique magic that is strangely powerful. But if we answer this question based on the devil test, sadly, Kikurage wouldn't pass due to her physical incapabilities and her personality. Anyways, if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I had a blast researching my favorite show and manga. I am so happy they adapted a second season. And go ahead and drop a follow on my socials, like, and subscribe. Feral Zubat out. Bye, guys!